I began dancing at age 3, and I had been dancing my entire life up until the point of about 27 when I first started experiencing not just back pain and symptoms, but symptoms that were so bad and back pain that was so bad that it actually interrupted my dance career. I think that's what was so shocking to me, is that I was used to feeling pain. But there's a difference between pain from pushing yourself and pain that just doesn't go away, even after you rehearse, after you take a class, after you perform. So in 2013, I was performing as a dancer and aerialist on a cruise ship internationally. And the whole rehearsal process, I was feeling just a lot of tightness and spasms in my back, and a lot of symptoms were starting to build up really quickly. And that had never happened to me before. I mean, I had performed entire 9-month, very complex, high-energy shows without ever missing a show for any reason. And then suddenly, just in this rehearsal build-up process, my pain would be so bad that after one of the performances on opening night, I was doing the routine and, high kicks to my face, my skill set that I had developed over years, just this twinge of back pain in my low back, just absolutely gripping. And afterwards, I pushed through the whole show. But when I got back to my cabin, the rooms where dancers live on the ship, I suddenly felt just this overwhelming sense of pain, but not just in my low back, it flooded everywhere, like literally to my scalp, down to my toes. And I was also having a lot of gastrointestinal distress at the time. I had profuse intestinal bleeding. At this point, it was 6 years in. Doctors didn't know why. I had multiple colonoscopies and endoscopies and trying to figure out if it could be colon cancer like my dad had, which obviously was a huge thing that scared me because he died of colon cancer. And as soon as he did, I started having these colon symptoms. So I thought it must be genetic, something must be wrong, and they're not finding what's wrong. So not only did I have this external spasm of back pain, but I'm also having digestive issues that are so bad that I could barely eat anything at the time, and everything came out of me bloody and painful. And so I ended up lying down on the floor of my dancer cabin, trying not to scream in pain because I didn't want someone to come help, because it would mean that I would be put on the injured list, cannot perform. If any doctor had seen me on the ship, they would have said, well, you can't perform, and I would have, that's bad. As a dancer, it's almost like a, how dare you let yourself get injured? Or it doesn't matter if you're injured, you just have to push through. So I thought, like, hold it, don't scream too loud, but I was just writhing in pain. And again, this is after the exertion of the show. I got through it, but then the pain was just lasting for hours afterwards. And these are examples of times in which it just didn't make sense. That why did it hurt after dancing? And it got to the point where I ended up getting sent off the ship because there's only so much care they can do for you there, and having to fly across the world to come back home. Originally, it was just supposed to be 3 weeks of physical therapy. They found 2 herniated discs in my low back. 3 weeks of physical therapy, you should be back up and running. Well, 3 weeks turned into 2 years, 20 healthcare providers of nearly every specialty, the amount of alternative medicine options that I was doing, as well as following the standard care that I was being told to do. And for whatever reason, everything just got worse. It didn't even stay the same, it just plummeted.